Hello, everybody. I hope you are doing well. Welcome back to our march through the book of John. Today's the difficult chapter, but we're gonna make it because this is part of it. And it's my honor to walk with you through the book of John. And today is John chapter 19. So this is when Jesus is being crucified. And it's important to read this. It's important because it's important to realize what Jesus was willing to do for our salvation. It talks about how Jesus was crucified, how Pilate actually writes down in 3 different languages, Jesus, King of the Jews, and the Jewish people want him, the Pharisees and stuff want him to take that down. He says, "What I have written, I have written." And you can speculate whether or not he was just trying to be mean to the Jewish people, or maybe he thought something else was going on. Either way, you have Jesus crucified. Not many people know that over his head, Pilate had put in 3 languages, I believe it was Aramaic, Hebrew, and Greek, so that everybody could read it, Jesus, King of the Jews. I think it's, or maybe it's King of the Jews. So it's amazing. And so what happens is, I want to draw your attention to 2 things. First is Jesus being pierced in the side. And number 2, Joseph of Arimathea. You're going to read about this toward the end of the chapter. First, Jesus being pierced in the side. Why is that? Well, here's the deal. This was the eve before Passover. And part of the Jewish custom is they couldn't allow anyone to be dying or there to be a dead body hanging on a cross, because actually it said, "Cursed is anyone who hangs upon a tree." And so they had to have the dead bodies removed. And so usually what would happen when someone would be crucified, this is horrible, I know, but they would be crucified and it was intended to be a long-term punishment, sometimes going days. Now, with Jesus being flogged and beaten as bad as he wasn't going to last very long anyway, but sometimes they wouldn't even nail their hands because they wanted them to be able to last longer. And it was a very excruciating process. And so if you notice too, I believe it says here in John, that they broke the legs of the other 2, which probably means they weren't pierced in their hands. And they break the legs because part of what lets you live so long is you would pull up on your arms to catch your breath. And then when the pain would get so bad in your arms, whether they were pierced with a nail or just with a rope, you eventually would lose your grip out of pain and you have to drop down. When you drop down, it would put pressure on your feet. So it's an up and down, up and down. But when they break your legs, you can no longer pull up and you would slowly suffocate to death. Well, they didn't have to do that to Jesus, also fulfilling a prophecy, by the way, because he was already dead. But Romans did their job well. And so what someone did is they pierced his side, went up through his ribcage and into his heart. And when they pulled it out, it actually burst the pericardium sac, which is where blood and water would flow out of his body. And that was also just to make absolutely sure he was dead. So Muslims actually teach that Jesus didn't actually die on the cross, he just swooned, he passed out. Well, you let someone give you 40 lashes, then you have to carry your crossbeam as far as you can. Then someone else helps you carry it. But then what they did was they nailed your both wrists to the cross, nailed both feet to the cross, put you up there, also putting a crown of thorns on your head, letting you stay there for 6 hours. You die. Then they pierce your side all the way where it pierces into your heart. Pericardium sac explodes. And what, you got a limp for a weekend? No, he died. Then the other thing is Joseph of Arimathea. Food for thought is, if you read earlier, the Bible talks about a rich young ruler talking with Jesus. Some think that this was actually Joseph of Arimathea. And if it was, Joseph of Arimathea was known to be one of the most richest people in Jerusalem at the time. He would have been a modern equivalent of a multi-millionaire. And it's also thought by history that what he did was, with the rich young ruler, he was the guy who said, "I've done everything since my youth." And Jesus said, "One thing you lack, go and sell all your possessions and then come follow me." And the Bible said that the rich young ruler went away sad because he had a lot of possessions. Well, history says that it's very possible this was Joseph of Arimathea. And if it was, he actually went, gave all of his possessions to his brother, and came and followed Jesus. But he still had access to it. And so that's why he was able to provide Jesus, his leader, with a tomb. Now, the good news is, Jesus only needed to borrow it for 3 days. He was able to give it back to him empty. So I hope you enjoy this. It's a whole lot better from here. I'll see you tomorrow, chapter 20.